Good evening, YouTube.
Hello.
Last show of the day. It's now 10:40, and this show was at 10 to 9. Jane's Choice.
It was.
Gynt, a jazz revival. Now, I was expecting a jazz revival.
Well, let me just read what I read.
Says.
And I read. So I read it as jazz classical, gig theatre, combining Ibsen's, in quotes, unstageable classic with original jazz adaptations of Grieg's Peer Gynt suite, performed by an ensemble of actor musicians, a unique fusion of drama, surrealism, comedy and jazz. Okay.
I've got something completely different here.
Right, okay.
I've got startlingly original, enthralling good music, that's varsity. Experience Ibsen and Grieg like never before in a lively and original fusion of music, drama, blah blah blah. That's what you just said, wasn't it?
Yep. But it says this energetic, creative, fun and poignant adaptation distills the unstageable, again in quotes, epic story about identity, love and regret, which spans an entire lifetime and half the known world into an hour of challenging, exciting and jazzy entertainment.
Okay. Do you want to go first or shall I go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Right, okay.
From a musician's point of view.
From a musician's point of view, we had a piano, and we had some of the cast coming in and playing a trumpet.
Well, it was the same cast member.
Excuse me. Yeah. So but fundamentally we had a piano playing most of the time, in the background to what in effect was a play, really, which is not what I expected. Really, I expected a musical rendition of Peer Gynt.
Yeah.
I have to say, it struck me as very, very, very experimental theatre, and not necessarily in a good way. The things I liked about it, if you're going to be positive, I did like their sort of very homemade visuals. They had a projector with almost they were hand drawn.
Or cutouts.
And that I actually really quite liked that element of it. Thought that was quite inventive. But for me, that's where it stopped. Musically, it just fell woefully short, I think.
When we walked in, I thought, oh, where's
the band?
Where's the band? Yeah. And
me too, actually. Yeah.
Obviously, the pianist started, and it was after sort of 10 minutes I thought, I don't think that is the music. And it was a sort of jazzy background playing.
Almost lounge cocktail, jazzy, I would say.
Fairly sort of low key, actually. And obviously the famous bit was recognisable in the Hall of the Mountain King. That was visible. And then there was a little bit of trumpet playing, a bit of flute playing,
recorder, cajon,
and a cajon.
Yeah.
And then the main lead, who was playing Peer Gynt. But I'm not familiar with the story, and I couldn't follow it.
No, and I mean, neither am I, and I think that's a real problem. That if you did know it, you probably got more out of it. But you know, you've got to take your audience with you.
I mean,
And I have to say, I thought the lead actor,
Yeah.
you know, as an actor, was really quite good. He was quite a strong actor. And
Oh yeah, yeah, it was.
I'd probably like to see him in something else. Some of the other members were less so, I thought.
And obviously, I don't know who done the adaptation, but I think we got the bare bones of the story, and it's obviously, you know, a lot of it's to do with folklore, and involves trolls and him going away for 30 years and in getting in fights with people, and but I couldn't hear all of the dialogue. Nobody was mic'd up, so some of the dialogue got lost, and I got lost in the narrative.
I mean, I have actually just had a quick look to try and find. It's interesting you said the name of the theatre company, and here it says Phono Fiddle.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's
That's
got
the same.
Phono Fiddle.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the theatre company, and they almost seem like a student outfit, whereas the lead actor I thought did project really quite well, considering
he was the only one.
We were at the back.
I could hear all of what he said. Sorry, I would like to clarify. I could hear all of what he said.
But certainly some of the other actors, you couldn't.
No.
I agree with you there. Yeah.
And it was difficult to follow exactly what was going on. But I couldn't help, I'm afraid, thinking I had gone expecting jazz. Well, it says jazz classical.
Yeah. A jazz revival is what it says in the title.
So, but that, the accompanying sort of jazz piano was really in the background, and it was the theatre which was forefront.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid I was disappointed.
So was I. I mean, it did really come across as very, very experimental theatre. I've said that already, I know, I've said it twice now, but it is. And now, if experimental, I could sort of almost see it being done in the New York loft. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the sort of low key, I don't want to say amateurish is the wrong word to use, but it was very, very homespun. I think that's probably a better word.
I don't know who had directed it, or whether there was a director, or it was an idea that they had. But I just felt that it was lacking in maybe somebody standing back and looking at the overall.
It needed
sort of
direction, that's for sure.
How, you know, a little bit more clarity on some of the story, because it wasn't music. I mean, there was, but the way it's been described is that I thought it was a complete jazz reinterpretation of the classical, which it was not. Yeah,
there's no website. They have an Instagram page, which I don't link through to Instagram on here, and they've got, it says view on TikTok, which I'm not going to prepare to log into. So there isn't a website that you can go and find out more about this theatre company and whether they are a student operation or whether they're, you know, and it doesn't say anything more on there. They have got another show, but...
I mean, it's a good idea, but I just feel that they needed somebody to just
pull it all together.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like the low key visuals. That was probably for me the best bit of it. And I think that was really quite inventive. And it needs I think it needs a lot more work.
Yeah.
And then it might be good.
Yeah.
Really. But as it stands at the moment, and they're asking people to pay for this, I think it's definitely lacking. You can only see there's only two more. There's two more performances, 24th and 26th, and the price is £13 full price and £11.50 concession. So it's the normal going price for a Fringe show, but.
And there was a pretty good audience.
Full, yeah.
You know, it's not a big theatre space, but it was pretty full.
Yeah. How many stars?
I think I'm going to go with 2.
I'm also going to go with 2. Sadly, you know, and we're not here to trash people's work, but I think it needs. You know, if you bring a show to the Fringe, it needs to be finished, and I don't think this is a finished piece of work. I think some of it, there are some really good ideas in there, but it's lacking, you know, and it needs a director if there isn't, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks very much for watching.
Cheers.
We'll see you next time. Cheers.
Bye.
Good night. Bye bye.